And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in a pre-Christmas edition of TigerBait Live. Got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of transfer portal activity. LSU and Ole Miss continue to trade staffers as Frank Wilson. Of course, I think we were the first to report that. We've had a live thread on our board that Frank Wilson was heading to Ole Miss, and of course, Austin Thomas already there. And I think there's probably multiple other staffers and player personnel, et cetera, that could also end up in Oxford. So that's very interesting. Men's and women's basketball, we can discuss that. Where does LSU go in the portal? Carius Kern gets in the portal. We can discuss that. A little bit of info on that. That one on the outside doesn't look good, but why is he in the portal? A little bit of tidbits there. So welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike. As always, we're in a little bit of a lull as far as finally slowing down a little bit. But folks, at the end of the year, always want to make sure you realize how much we appreciate you covering so many new subscribers, so many new people following Mike, Preston, Brian Lazar, myself, Zach Nagy, everybody a part of the TigerBait team. And so we start off by saying, holiday season, we've got a lot to be thankful for. I am in a good mood, laid back, ready to chop it up. And what an exciting 2026. Man, I tell you what, Mike and I were talking on a radio show today, folks. We may not have the access. We may not have the practice reports. Who knows what we're going to get from Lane Kiffin. But it is going to be exciting. Of course, everybody knows the portal is January 2nd through 16. You're going to lose some players. Some you don't maybe know the reasons for. Mike might get into some of that today. Frank Wilson looks like we finally have some closure there. And the irony of it, Mike, it's almost like, you got all these family members and then they're going over to live with the cousins and they're coming back. I mean, this has been crazy. Charlie, as we know, Weiss going over there and then the rest of the staff going over there for the bowl game. Now Frank Wilson going over along with Austin Thomas and Bolden. And so this Ole Miss thing, but I'll just ask you this question as we start off. Would you trade Lane Kiffin for Pete Golding?
No.
Would you trade Kevin Smith for Frank Wilson?
I want to see what he can do. I would.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe he didn't say no on that one. And would you trade Billy Glasscock for Austin Thomas? Those are three of the matchups that we talk about, and we feel like LSU. Look, Austin did a good job. He's been at Ole Miss. Frank's been at Ole Miss. Frank had Golding as his DC when he was the head coach at UTSA. But it's exciting times, and I can't wait to see the new additions. Mike and I have talked about Trinidad Chambliss, who's going to be the quarterback. You talked about DJ Lagway. All of those on the table tonight on a Wednesday night.
The main thing with the some of the moves and who didn't get retained, and I hear things like, oh, well, nobody loves Louisiana more than this coach and that coach. Man, that's life. I don't get that baloney. Look, what do we talk about all the time? What have we been talking about our entire lives for those of us who were born and raised in Louisiana? A brain drain and our best and brightest leaving Louisiana because Louisiana doesn't have this and the jobs, and our kids are graduating from college or they're leaving for college because there's no good jobs here and all that. I mean, those are all people who were born and raised here that love Louisiana. Things happen in life. Nothing's guaranteed to you. Some of this stuff is just beyond silly. And I'll say it again and again, and I think it applies even more now in the NIL era that, 2/3 of the battle for you as an LSU football coach, when you go into any high school in the state of Louisiana, is done for you. When you walk in that door saying, I'm the assistant coach and this is my position, or I'm the coordinator of LSU, and you're wearing that Nike dry fit polo as you walk in that building. 2/3 of the job is done for you. What's the other third? Well, part of it's does the player like you? Do you coach his position? That's part of it. but it's NIL. It's the dollar amount now. And, we could talk about in past history, had NIL existed, a Jamar Chase and what might have happened and what, look, there's no guarantees. That's certainly one of the draws of being the LSU football coach, is how fertile the state of Louisiana is. But now you've got that money component, and you better be in the ballpark. Simply the love for LSU, and whether that recruit cut their teeth in the south end zone with their parents' season tickets and all that kind of stuff, or whatever, that's not going to carry much weight if you're not in the same ballpark dollar-wise against Texas and Ohio State and others. And so, but that's the draw. And everything we're hearing on that front is LSU's NIL coffers are loaded. So I can't wait for January. We're just weeks away. There's a lot to be excited about January for. By then, you're going to know who your defensive line coach is going to be, who your special teams coach is going to be. You're going to have a definitive answer as to which current players on the LSU's roster are in the portal. And then the dominoes are going to start to fall. And can't wait to see it. It's going to be a crazy month.
I love it. Lessons of life from Mike Scarborough on a Wednesday night. It is a week away from Christmas Eve. We will not be here because we have family and gifts to give out. And once again, we hope everybody has a great, joyous season. We have right here the latest T-shirt, the Lane Train T-shirt. My buddy Dan McNamara designed those with Bayou Apparel. Alumni Hall, a bunch of them already, and they are going like
TigerBait 10% off.
Yes, there you go. All you have to do is say TigerBait 10%, but this is going to be the cool shirt. And, we were kind of worried about this. Lane has not done a lot with the media or the team or whatever, but they're working behind the scenes. But, you were talking about nostalgia and growing up in the state of Louisiana. All I can tell you is this, folks. If you have season tickets, this is not the year to get rid of them. And, oh, by the way, you will be paying scalper's price. I'm predicting it now, a hard sellout for September 5th when LSU hosts Clemson, showing them the real Death Valley. And then 2 weeks later, you make that trip. Mike has already got a couple of security people going with him. I'm going to lend him Bob Broadhead's old bulletproof vest that he willed to me. But that's the third week. A&M comes in here, but the last 4 games.
He willed you his recording equipment.
Well, yeah, that's right. But the last 4 games of the schedule, Alabama here, followed up by Texas, and then at Tennessee, they'll throw more stuff at Kiffin, and then at Arkansas could be ice, slow, all that other stuff. So great schedule. We can talk about that. We could talk about the guys coming in. I have no problems thinking that the LSU is going to be really, really good on offense next year if they get 3 to 5 offensive linemen that can come in and play.
Absolutely. All right, let's dive in, everybody. Hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. In fact, Planetary Healer says subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you, as does Fire3449 each show. Big Train Kiffin asks, good evening, Mike and Buddy and fellow TigerBait BFFs. He's got that's our buddy. That's Big Balls. He's got his new name, Big Train Kiffin, I can tell.
All right.
He's using the Tiger BFFs. About how many LSU players will be in the portal. How many players could LSU get from the portal? Is the amount of scholarships going to increase? That number, the total number is capped. But we tend to think LSU is going to be somewhere in the mid-20s.
Oh, you mean totally? I think it could be 25 to 30. It just depends. You're going to have more attrition. Obviously, a lot of these guys who are in the portal are going to play. I know that Ahmad Bro and Juwan Johnson are playing in the game. Got to have Juwan Johnson. He's the backup quarterback. Ahmad Bro, you wish him the best. He came over as a DN, gained weight inside. But, look, you should know because you saw it with Lane Kiffin the last 2-3 years. They're going to kill it in the portal. And I don't know if there's necessarily a number right now because – we really don't know. Colin Hurley and, of course, Curious Kern were the latest 2 to get in the portal. That's 10 so far. So, Mike, I hadn't looked at the numbers as to what they've got, but they're going to be very active, and we feel like they will probably do a better job with the hit and miss in the portal. Last year, no disrespect to those guys, but only about a handful of those guys out of the 18 that came in really were
but the ones that did were big hits.
Yeah.
I mean, Delane and Halsey.
And Grant Chadwick. Now, let's
Braylon
not talk
Moore.
about him. Braylon Moore, and that's four right there. But Chadwick was a big part of it. We expect him to be back.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of optimism. But, man, you're going to have to watch these shows to keep up with all the activity because I am going to predict it right now. I think Trinidad Chambliss is on the LSU football team next year. I know you had different information, but I like to go against the grain.
Well, it's if he's eligible, then it can happen. I'm told some people think it's 50-50, other people it's 40-60, that it's not a slam dunk that he's going to get that extra year. So
ask Tiger Shark how many times the NCAA has won a case. I mean, if he sues with the right attorney, he's going to play.
Yeah. We'll see. Todd Davis says, go Tigers. C.D. Smith, losing Kern stings, but I still think the O-line will be better next year. Can't be worse. Look, sometimes you have to ask on some of these, particularly ones that you think sting. What have they been doing behind the scenes? Have they been doing everything they're supposed to do? Have they been late for meetings? Have they been taking care of their academics? It's not as cut and dry as just getting in the portal to see how much money they can make. Sometimes they're asked to leave.
Well, I will give the young man credit. He came over here at 335. He promptly lost about 20 pounds and got to 315, and everybody wanted him to get a look-see at left tackle or right tackle. We all talked about it the whole time. He should be an inside player, but I think you got to remember something. Just because the guy's big doesn't mean he's emotionally and mentally mature enough. And I think that's the problem with Carius Kern. When you're not doing what the coaches want you to do, when you don't take a concerted effort of doing every little thing to make sure the new coach wants you to be on that football team, you're going to have a couple of chances, and then they're going to say bye-bye. And everybody's different. Every case is different. But you got to walk the line right now. And unfortunately, Carius Kern is going to play somewhere else. He'll make a check somewhere else. But it just didn't work out for him.
Todd Davis, Elijah Haven. Wow, only a junior. Yep. Look, man, you can talk about Elijah Havens. We were talking about that today with somebody. A lot of people, including myself, will talk about how it looks like he puts a football. He's got a weird, funky release. And I know they've been working on it for several years. It is what it is. But at the same time, the numbers don't lie. The production doesn't lie. His measurables doesn't lie. His leadership, just everything's off the charts for Elijah Haven. I love the kid.
Well, let's make sure that we celebrate and congratulate Neil Weiner and everybody familiar with and certainly part of the Dunham community. That was great. They beat LCA. Chessa covered that game a couple of weeks before the playoffs, that really cold game. She was freezing. They beat LCA 49-48. I'm like you. I watched the last 2 or 3 games. It's a weird delivery. It's not over the top. It's kind of sidearm. It's just different.
A little bit of shot put.
A little shot put, but he does deliver the football. He's a big guy, 6'5", about 220. He can run. But we shall see what's in the cards for him. One more year. I'll ask you point blank, is this the kind of guy that Lane Kiffin wants as far as his skill set?
I'd like to know what, I bet you there might be right there with the previous staff on Pop Houston.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. But you don't have to worry. There's going to be plenty of quarterbacks on the 2026 LSU team. I think it's fair to say we will predict that.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There it is, 855-PRIDE-16. Give them a call. Say TigerBait when you call for your free roof inspection, and they're going to give you TigerBait Premium free for a year. You cannot beat that. They're going to beat the pricing off everybody in town. They've always got a couple of $1 million of shingles in stock inside their yard, and there's a lot of competition out there. But again, if if you've got a competitor's bid on letterhead or on their bid sheet, they will beat it by $150 every time. And so,
commercial, residential, of course, residential, and don't forget about Crown Metals. We picked up that company, a great company with the metal roofing business. It has changed appreciably. Nice people do what they do. As we always say, the roof over your head is just as important as the roof over ours. 1-855-PRIDE-16, always a free roofing inspection. Mike personally takes care of all of the Baton Rouge clients. Of course, Alex, we've kept Alex away from Hollywood. He is a star on these commercials, but they've got about 60-plus years of roofing experience. All we ask is you give them an opportunity. You will not be disappointed. And yes, I'm going to say it now this way. Remember last year, before the year, I pointed to this sign that said Blake Baker's going to be the pride, bring back the pride of the Chinese Bandits in the defense. Great year. Mm-hmm. The pride of LSU in the offense. I'm not predicting Joe Burrow or Jaden Daniels, but I am predicting some incredible numbers. You're going to have great pride in that offense. Give them an opportunity. 1-855-PRIDE-16.
All right, Capital City Grill. You see it on the screen right there. Great, great brunch. Get over there and try it out. And of course, you know them for your typical lunch spot and dinner. Great hamburgers, never frozen French fries, club sandwiches. The French dip is insanely good. They've got it all for you over at Capital City Grill. Again, 100 Lafayette Street. Get that carrot cake. I'm telling you, it's the best in town. And you can go to capitalcitygrill.net and look at their menu. And but again, the brunch from 11 to 2 on Sundays is out of this world. And if you're not interested in brunch fare, they've got the regular menu that's available till 3 o'clock on Sundays. But we've been hitting that brunch probably at least once a month, and it is fantastic. That chicken and waffles you see on the screen is to die for. Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small electrical needs might be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse that you need built, they can wire that. Expand your existing commercial building, changing out a breaker, a whole electrical panel, lighting in your home or office, they can do all of it. That's why I need you to give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate. And please let them know TigerBait sent you in. It's very important for all of our sponsors. Let them know that how you heard about them. And all right, let's get to some more comments here. Go T asked, does Frank leaving hurting recruiting? Yes. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. I'd rather retain Raymond than Frank. And I think someone asked let's see. Yeah, Frank has been other places. Did he still in the Louisiana recruits that LSU wanted? You know, I'd have to go back and jog my memory. Was it him that was when LSU was battling for Keelan Williams all the way up to the last minute? Was it Frank when he was at Ole Miss? Is that where he was? And I know Orgeron was involved with Jansen Jackson back in the day. But my answer right now, unless I'm forgetting somebody, the answer would be no on that.
Yeah. Look, Frank's done a good job. He's been here a couple times. You wish him the best. I know there's been a lot of conjecture. Now that he's going to be the Ole Miss running backs coach, do you let him continue to be the interim coach here?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's kept this ship in the water. It's very tumultuous time. Everybody's calling their parents. What do I do? Do I leave? What's going on? He will be the interim head coach. I don't know anybody from here that is going over there to watch that bowl game. Oh, by the way, a week from this Saturday night, 8:15 to 8:30. But CFP action continues again. Friday night, Alabama, Oklahoma, and then the triple header on Saturday, A&M and Miami. Aggies are having problems. A lot of them have not ever had an alarm clock. So they're going to have to realize they're going to play at 11 o'clock, A&M and Miami. 2:30, a big one. Tulane, a 16.5-point underdog.
I knew you were
to
setting
Ole
up
Miss.
some sort of Aggie joke.
Yeah, well, and then, of course, the last one is Oregon Saturday night against James Madd, and there's been a lot of conversation about Group of Five. But so you got 4 games in the CFP, and I do expect Ole Miss to beat Tulane. I don't know about covering 16.5 because we have no idea what they're going to look with Pete Golden leading them out there versus Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, it just dawned on me today. Do you know what the pressure is on him?
Big.
Huh?
Yeah. Like you said on the show, if he lays an egg and loses that game, those people are going to be suicidal. They're already jilted lovers.
Yeah, I mean, because they're supposed to handle Tulane, certainly based off what they did earlier in the season. And if they somehow lose that game, I mean, what kind of start is that to the Pete Golding era?
Well, just kind of crazy that you have a bowl game in the CFP, and both teams have coaches that are leaving. Kiffin, of course, to LSU, and John Summerall to Florida. So,
yep. Rob Boudreaux, hopefully the Frank PR tour will be over after today. Thank you, Mike, for being the voice of reason. Look, man, I had people saying, "Oh, Mike's got a vendetta," blah blah blah, and look, man, there's something that comes with age, right, buddy? I knew it when I first started doing this. 20-something years old, I'm covering LSU football. It's just wide-eyed, and there's something to be said for the jaded, older sports writer, media guy. I get it. I'm never going to be Glenn Guilbeau, but I get it.
Wait, you guys had steaks before.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer, by the way.
Yeah, but
Snake's going, shut up, buddy.
My whole thing is with all that, and it's in a lot of other coaches. And it's just Frank is there's a whole lot of myth making and hyperbole around particular coaches. I mean, look, you ask any coach in the building for the 2019 LSU football team about how much credit should go to Joe Brady. I mean, everybody wanted to make it was all Joe Brady. It wasn't all Joe Brady.
No.
I mean, certainly he had a huge impact. We saw the difference from the offense from one year to the next. I'll give you that. But, man, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson, Thaddeus Moss, Clyde, on and on and on. And Ensminger, by the way, was calling the plays.
Did a hell of a job, especially losing his daughter-in-law with that tragic plane accident.
Now, inside the 15, that's when Brady took over.
Yeah. By the way, I think you need to look out for something that Dane sent you, and it refers to the Frank Wilson running back rotation. How many years have we talked about this? Frustrating thing as can be. And it still continued on even when he got to be the interim coach. When you have a running back that scores a touchdown, put him back in. I don't think we're going to have those problems moving forward with the right running back. Now, here's the question. Is Harlan Berry in the mix? Does Caden Durham stick around? Lacey's probably coming, and they're going to have more recruits and running backs. And so you're going to see skilled people load up with this offense. The question is, who wants to be a part of it on this existing team? Talked to Harlan Berry's daddy last year when we were doing reports. Great guy. Proud of Harlan. I want to keep him. Want to keep Caden Durham. But they've all got decisions to make here in the next couple of weeks. And
I wanted to keep Caleb Jackson. I wanted to see what a new running backs coach in that offense, if they could have made sense for Caleb Jackson.
I tried to get.
I want Caleb Jackson wherever he goes. I want him to get the right coaching, and I would love to see that kid be a success.
I just wish he would have gotten an NIL deal with Coca-Cola, because he needs some Coke bottle glasses.
Well, maybe that's true. Maybe he's going to get his eyes checked. I don't know.
Well, but run to daylight, not to darkness, Caleb. I mean, I don't know how many times. I don't know if it was, but you know, that's what you have to do as a running back. And he did not do a good job of that. He ran into contact too often. Mike and I saw him a couple times at practice. You followed him in high school. That one time he ran over the Mississippi State player in the backfield. We thought, and I tell you, I think he scored 4 total touchdowns, but he didn't score any this year. So
yeah, what you can say about everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, who name a player in offense who had the kind of season we thought they were going to have?
I'm predicting now.
It's criminal what happened to Aaron Anderson and Chris Hilton and Tradez Green, and all of them.
The first two did not score. Chris Hilton and Aaron Anderson did not score touchdowns. Hilton is going to get in the end zone in the bowl game. That's my prediction. And we wish that young man the best of luck.
Watch him have an insane NFL career.
He could have an insane bowl game if they're throwing the football, but he's got the athleticism. You just got to put it together.
Mike officially defeated. No, I haven't officially defeated Garland. It's the 27 draft, not the 26. He predicts that Archman will be the number 1 pick overall. And I went the other way. And if he's not the number 1 pick overall, I get a steak dinner.
Well, he is coming back for his junior year, so he couldn't be in the 26th draft.
Yep.
But that's interesting. Garland, you go, I like it. A little stake bet on that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Arch has got appreciably better. The hype was there so much. Do you realize the hype last year? We loved the magazines. We all loved the summer talk. But Kate Klubnik was first-team All-American. Garrett Nussmeier was second-team All-American, first and second, played in the opening game. Everybody talking about Arch Manning. Everybody talking about DJ Lagway, Lenora Sellers. Dude, none of them was talking about Pavia, John Mateer, all these other quarterbacks, that Marcel Reed, all these other quarterbacks. So take it with a grain of salt. I did have Mike Detillier on, the NFL draft expert, and he said Nussmeier would be a second-day draft pick, which could be second or third round. We'll wait to see how it plays out. Arch Manning, though, number 1 overall. That's going to be an interesting bet. I'll follow that one.
I almost want to take that bet on a steak dinner.
What's that?
Nussmeier in the second round.
Yeah, second or third round.
Well, you said second day.
Second day, yeah.
Yeah, second day.
Second day.
My bad.
Yeah.
Paul Eskein with a super chat. When was the last time Frank had a 100-yard rusher? Meanwhile, Ole Miss led the SEC in rushing 6 years in a row.
Good question, PFM, as always.
Great super chat. And Brian Smith says, wow, 6 years in a row. Great observation. Dane Bergeron with a super chat. Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas. I am going to miss Frank's running back rotation, driving me crazy.
Yes, Snake, me and you have been talking about that for about 3 years. And it didn't make any, it was no rhyme or reason.
Was I the only one, the first one to bring that up years ago?
Probably. But we all were thinking it.
I don't think I was the only one, though.
No, we all were there. I mean, come on.
It kind of became a running joke and a gag, but then it was, sometime I was wondering if, perception became reality. But it was to me, it was reality all the way.
Well, 2 years ago, Caden Durham made that incredible zigzagging run. LSU was down 17-0 to Carolina, if you remember. And they wouldn't have won the game if Salos had not gotten hurt. He's making a zigzagging run about 40 yards and gets into the end zone and dives in. And the next 2 freaking possessions, you know who's the running back? 18, Josh Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, and it's got to frustrate the running backs because
I would sit in the press box and there would be a big run and I'd say, all right, and I'd kind of say it loud enough for everybody to hear. All right, everybody, get ready for Josh Williams. And sure enough, he'd come. There you go. And,
by the way, that young man made it.
And by the way, I was picking on Josh Williams, and and then Josh would do something big, have a big run, and then I'd feel bad about it.
Yeah, me too. We've said that a couple times. We said he shouldn't be on third down, but that man did make an NFL roster. I don't know if he's on the practice team or whatever.
Because he works hard,
but he does work hard. So
special teams.
Lacey and Barry and Durham could be a trio. We'll see how it plays out, but I think most people are expecting Lacey to follow Lane Kiffin and Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Boy, this is a good question. Really good one. And this is the whole Brian Kelly era, isn't it, Rick? Rick Cloetti asked, Mike and Buddy, what would LSU's 25 record be this year if Kiffin had been the head coach with Weiss as OC?
With what?
Had Kiffin and Weiss been the head of the
Weiss. Oh.
So it's the same thing. What would have LSU have been if Jaden Daniels had Blake Baker that year?
Yeah.
It's and that's why Brian Kelly's no longer the coach. He never could put it all together. It was never, there was always missing pieces. You addressed one problem and you had something over here that didn't get the proper attention. One step forward, 2 steps back constantly.
Still drives me just slap ass crazy. After that Clemson game, Mike, they did everything we thought that they would do. They threw it within 2.2 seconds. They got rid of it quickly. Nuss got the ball outside. They played great defense. They got screwed out of a touchdown to Barry and Brown. Should have won by 14, but they got off the streak. They got off the snide. They had 5 consecutive losing opening games. And if you'd have told me they lost, I could understand it going to hell on the handbasket. But after that, remember, BK just could not stand it. Joe Sloan getting all the props for all the calls. He took over the remote control. And then, I've said this all along, Brian Kelly's got a dilapidated offense that does not work in the SEC. But the TA said this yesterday. Where are all those big uglies that he had at Notre Dame? All those big ugly tight ends he had at Notre Dame. He never brought that to LSU. And I don't know why. That's the question. Why didn't you go get that big running back, that big tight end, that big offensive
But he would
line?
get the tight ends, but then they wouldn't last, or they wouldn't be what you thought they were supposed to be.
Well, when he tried to make Trey Green a blocking tight end,
Yep.
we saw how that worked out.
All right, Alumni Hall, everybody. Of course, we showed you the Lane Train T-shirt on the table. They've got those in stock, and they've got everything you need for Christmas. They've got your polos and all your quarter zips and hoodies and LSU baseball product. They've got everything you need at Alumni Hall. And look, they're game day ready, whatever season it might be. And again, code TigerBait, all one word, and you're going to get 10% off your purchase. And they've got free shipping on all orders over $99. You get mix and match those 2 for $38 LSU Champion brand T-shirts. And they've got all that stuff for you over at Alumni Hall. Perkins Row or alumnihall.com/LSU. Again, use code TigerBait, all one word, and you're going to get all of that in stock.
I had to make sure Coach Monkey was not covered, but she is echoing the same sentiment. She is nodding and saying,
Yes.
Get on over. Oh, by the way, LSU women's basketball every year has NIL functions over at Alumni Hall. You've been there a couple times. Great opportunity. And wow, do these Lady Tigers look good this year.
They do. I think from top to bottom, this is her best team since she's been in Baton Rouge. And that's saying a mouthful. I can't wait to get past these last 2 December cupcake games. I don't think she'd like me saying that word, but you're going to find out soon enough, because go look at that January LSU schedule. And what about Matt McMahon? That win over SMU was really nice. I'm a little bit more optimistic on them than other people. I think they've got a fighting chance. There's a reason to tune in and watch that LSU men's team.
And you're going to need to get acclimated to the new roster. I'm just starting to pick it up. It takes me a little while to get into the basketball mode. Pablo Tamba is a guy that really is active. Mike Nwoko is a big guy that they got from Mississippi State. He's a little impatient at times. DJ Thomas, the point guard. Of course, McKinnon, when he catches it and shoots it, he's good. When he puts it on the floor and dribbles, he's not good. Of course, Sutton and Robert Miller, a bunch of them. Sad to see Jalen Reed get hurt again and out for the year, but they are appreciably better. I want to see what they do in the SEC before we start talking about if they can. Because let's be honest, this is a year where he's pretty much got to make the big dance at 68. Agreed.
Yep. iComedies, any update on trying to flip Eastern Royal? No, it's too early. It's a dead period for one. Wait till January. And then when the coaches can go out and we're going to find out who gets New Orleans. How does he divvy up the territories? Is it territories? Is it by position? Give him some time. There's going to be, I'm sure, some junior days in February. But nothing can be done right now.
And look, I think Dr. Butler, who's obviously the biggest Texas fan on our shows, and a Hall of Famer, both the Texas and LSU. We appreciate all he does for all of our shows. Look, Steve Sarkisian's got some pressure over there, man. They did not light it up. They didn't make the CFP playoffs. We see Lane Kiffin light it up, and you see Steve Sarkisian in our struggle again. It might be a no-brainer for that young man to come here.
Go Black 45 says Nussmeier is a 4th rounder at best now, especially since he gained weight. What's he weighing? Is he ballooned up?
I don't know, but look, we know that he's a coach's son. He's going to do everything that he should do. He'll have his body right. I just think that Nuss lost his confidence, and we'll see what he does in the combine.
Yep. Derek Becker, if Kevin Smith is our new running back coach, here comes the talent from Florida. Yeah. Brad David, Mike, are you surprised Kelly has not done any interviews recently? Is he even looking for work? I'm surprised by the fact he hasn't done any interviews with media. I figured at some point he might have surfaced with somebody. That's surprising. Look, man, that's a huge blow to the ego. I mean, he was on top of the world. He had one of the two best jobs in all of college sports, and now he's out of it. And everybody's pointing the finger at his work ethic and how much he plays golf and not managing the store. And I wonder what kind of questions and conversations his agent has when ADs have called, and meaning what type of questions are they? Or is it true that he does this, or is it, what is the dossier on Brian Kelly read like right now?
Yeah. And of course he's got a lot of money coming to him, but as you alluded to, we were joking last week, kind of in a joking manner, but there were some overtures that Michigan might talk to him. That's been a cluster ever since Sharon Moore has caught.
I just don't see how he gets a job like that.
Yeah, I don't know. And look, law of diminishing returns. No disrespect to Coach Kelly. I think he'll tell you this. He doesn't have the passion to fire. That's what we're talking about.
I can see him at a Virginia Tech and NC State.
Well, Virginia Tech's already got.
I know,
Franklin
but I'm just saying
coming.
that level,
that
level of job.
Yeah, we'll see. But I don't think he's worried about it right now. We know he's in Florida. He's playing golf. He's having fun at his condo, taking care of his mom and daddy. And bottom line is that I don't know. If you ask me if he'll ever coach college football again, what would you say, 50-50 or less?
I think he does. I think this was – I just kind of feel that this was probably a wake-up call for him, and he wants to prove something before he totally hangs it up.
And I figured out why he told Cobble, you're spoiled. Okay. Because he gave us 13 hours of access to watch that team. I had never figured out why. Folks, we're not going to get that kind of access. We're going to do as much as we can to give you tidbits and updates. But I think the LSU fan base, and we got to see what Bonnet and Lane Kiffin come up with. But man, oh man, from that, did it start to go downhill from that press conference, in your opinion, when he lost it? It was a bad look for him.
It's the losses, and it's the bad loss to A&M and how ugly that scene was.
That was the final straw.
Yeah.
A&M.
And then we need you to make a move on Sloan. No, I'm not, and you can't make me. Oh, yeah, you're fired. Sal Trapani, Mike, what are your A&M, Miami, and OU Bama playoff picks? I'll let you go first, buddy, but I think it's pretty easy, those two.
A&M at home, I'm going to go ahead and say that they will get by on Miami. Oh, by the way, Carson Beck, talk about this game of college football. He leaves Georgia and was injured and left kind of in disgrace and made $4.2 million, along with Dayton, one of the Cavender twins, who recently got re-enhanced a little bit. But lo and behold, I like A&M at home. Alabama, Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat them in the regular season at Bama. Now Bama's going back to Oklahoma. Oklahoma did not impress me in that last game. If John Mateer plays like crap like he did against LSU, Alabama will win that game. But everybody freaking out about Caleb DeBoer and possibly going somewhere. That guy's 7-2 against top 10 teams as a college coach. And I know he's not a fit at Bama, but you're going to have him for a couple more years over there, at least.
Yeah, I like A&M and Bama. Dane Bergeron, media should not get that kind of access. Coaches need to coach. Practice should not be a movie production. I'm fine with what Saban gave. I'm fine with the same 3 to 4 periods that Saban gave, which included periods of us filming them doing jumping jacks and touching their toes and just hearing Saban tell dad jokes to Brady James and all that kind of stuff. All right. We never did get the D's nuts jokes on audio, but evidently Saban is not renowned for those. But yeah, I have a feeling we know what they didn't get at Ole Miss. I bet he alters it for LSU, but just because it's different.
Well, here's the kicker. I
don't think it's going to be a lot.
Well, no, but
it'll be enough for you to see kids hitting sleds for a few seconds, and that'll be the end of it.
But Dane makes a good point. Sometimes too much information can be negative.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, that is an insatiable appetite this fan base has. They want to know who the backup left guard is. They want to know if Karis Curran play inside or outside. They want to know if Trey Green is catching everything. They want to know all those tidbits. But sometimes coaches get a little paranoid and they don't want the opponent to know anything. And so I would imagine now once the game start, we never had access, but interesting to see what we get in the spring. Interesting. And it's totally with the prerogative of the head coach, and whatever he deems is right and necessary, that's what we'll do.
And by the way, don't kid yourself on this fact. A lot of the access is kind of a fig leaf to the media. All right. If you don't give the media any access, what do? They get some information that didn't come through the proper channels. And the media, and I can tell you, the thinking is, well, if I don't get any info or access through the proper channels, I'm going to use the info that I get through the improper channels. Because what's my motivation to sit on it? Right?
Good point. Perfect example. You just nailed the head. Do you remember we were not allowed out the day that Garrett Nussmeier got hurt? Now, the Yahoos at Clemson were the first on all the social media sites putting out what? ACL. Remember? Like it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And so that's when everybody's calling what's legit, what isn't legit. And so it's a catch-22.
Look, there's relationships we have with the parents.
Yeah.
Particularly those of us that cover recruiting, and they tell you, they'll tell you things, a lot of that stuff we sit on, we don't use it, because it's like, we don't want to get anybody in trouble. We don't want it to get tracked back. Sometimes it's so easy to figure out where that info came from, so we don't use it.
But if you remember,
but if you have no access and the media is going to use it. I'm just telling you how it works.
But you remember, you called a source and said, "What's the scoop on Nussmeier?" And he told you, "Okay, he's okay." You remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay, we had this discussion. So, look, insatiable appetite. Kiffin's going to do what he wants to do. He's not going to let anybody tell him how to do it.
I think he's going to split the baby.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a little bit, but like I've said before, every coach that's come to LSU had a different media policy than the one that was here. And one by one, every single one of them has adopted the 3 to 4 periods that was installed by Nick Saban. And the difference is that BK allowed multiple full practices.
He did. Never seen that before.
Yeah. Now, you might know this because while I covered DiNardo, I didn't cover practices. Charlie swears up and down that DiNardo allowed to attend full practices. Do you recall that?
DiNardo, in fact, those are old days when I had Cyber Songy just waking up and starting to post some of this stuff. And actually, it came back to bite them in the butt. We were going from the practice field, going on radio shows, posting stuff. And there were some injuries. They were playing Georgia, and there were a couple of
There
injuries.
was a trick play that got reported by somebody.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm saying we were reporting a couple times that there were injuries and these guys were out. And then after the game, they told DiNardo, well, we knew they wasn't going to play because we got it off the practice reports and all the scuttlebutt. So, yeah, DiNardo had a very liberal policy until it got nasty at the end. And then, of course, we were out. But,
he went full paranoia.
But I'm going to agree with Dane. I think sometimes too much information is a negative. But on the other hand, everybody wants every little morsel they can get. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a somewhat of a happy medium in there.
Gilbo's going to love it.
The difference is, and we talked about on your show, there's no Oxford TV stations, okay? The closest big media market is Memphis, and I don't know that market well enough. But some of you that maybe live in Mississippi, let's say they had 3 or 4 periods of practice like we have at LSU. Is Memphis sending their crews down there to cover that every day? I don't think so. Whereas in Louisiana, you give 3 or 4 periods. They're coming from Monroe. They're coming from Lafayette. They're coming from New Orleans. Everybody in Baton Rouge is here. Media here that don't even have regular season press passes are at LSU's practices. So, all right. There it is, everybody. Struby. See that cowboy ribeye? Great seafood dishes. They've got it all for you over there at Struby's. And again, 107 3rd Street. They pride themselves on providing a 5-star dining experience at a reasonable price. Take a high level of pride in the food and service that you just don't get from any of the national chains. They've got a full menu of specialty meats, including USDA Prime Black Angus and 100% certified Wagyu New York strip, steak Diane, duck Louisiana, redfish, lobster pasta, black truffle lobster pasta, the dry-aged pork chop, and much more. Go to Strubys.com. You can see the full menu. You can make a reservation online. Again, get the lamb lollipops as the appetizer, and the as an appetizer, and the crawfish mac and cheese is one of your sides. Genesis of Lafayette, you see it right there on the screen. Look at those interest rates: 0.99% for 36 months, 1.99 for 60, 2.99 for 72. Absolutely fantastic. That's on all 25s that are remaining and all the new 26s across the entire lineup of Genesis products. And at Genesis of Lafayette, there's a reason why they sell more pre-owned and brand new Genesis vehicles than any other dealer in the state of Louisiana. Give them a call, 877-856-2961. They're huge fans over there at Genesis of Lafayette. And I'm telling you, I don't care where you are in the state of Louisiana, they'll make it worth your while to give them a call and do business. It's worth the time. They'll deliver the brand new vehicle right to your driveway and pick up your used trade-in at the same time. You don't even have to go in. That's how easy they will make the entire process at Genesis of Lafayette. Scott Tigers with a super chat. Thank you so much. Lane is going to use this time to review players' past character and weed out the problems. Some of the exits will be asked to leave. Absolutely true. Absolutely. I agree. And I'm sure they've got a list already of those that if they haven't told already, they will be telling. Look, we don't think you can play here. You need to get in the portal.
And if you remember, the last time LSU went to play in this kind of bowl game with an interim coach and a backup quarterback, Brad Davis was the interim. Brian Polian came in, and this was first year BK. I think they took like 38 or 39 players in the portal. So depending on how many of those that don't make the cut get asked to leave, we have no idea. But it's going to be interesting because they are portal kings. You know Billy Glasscock? Have you dealt with him before?
I have not, but I'm looking forward to meeting him and talking to him. Everything I get out of him is just, it seems all sounds very impressive.
Yeah.
What him and Charlie Weiss have done, and all you gotta do is look at Chambliss. I mean, Scott Tigers, he said, sorry for the misspelling. Lane will run off the problem players. So not all portal players leaving because they want out. LSU may want out. That's very true.
By the way, happy to have all those defensive coaches back. I said this a couple of times when you had to get Blake Baker locked down. Let's give LSU a lot of credit. Blake Baker had a $4 million offer a year to go be the Tulane coach with improved facilities. I think Mouton with New Orleans media had put that out there, and Lane worked his butt off. But what I like for Blake Baker is that he is going to get better every practice defending that damn quarterback run that has torched him. And you got to ask the question when we get in front of the coach, do you like to be as aggressive on defense as you do on offense? And what did you like going against Blake Baker? And can you fix that? Because that was the problem with Coach Baker, not being able to tackle the quarterback. We saw it a couple times the last couple of years. Going to make Blake Baker a better coach, going to make LSU a better football team.
King MJ says, what's Buddy's show? Buddy Sports Talk, 1 to 3, Monday through Friday. Go to your Apple Store or Google Play Store and download the Pelican Sports app, and that's how you can listen to it daily. Once on the app, you'll see TV in the radio icon. You click the radio from 1 to 3. You can stream it through your Bluetooth while you're driving, through your desktop at work, however.
And it's a link on TigerBait.
Yes, it's on our message board permanently there.
Zach Nagy and Alan Risher tomorrow. Alan Risher, one of the old-time quarterbacks that wore 7, like Burt Jones. And then, of course, Zach Nagy does a great job with all of us over here. And a flat belly that works hard.
And what's funny about Zach is he covers LSU and Ole Miss.
Yes.
So he's got a great perspective on all this.
He's kind of within the crosshairs because, you want to tell the Ole Miss people what they want to hear. You want to tell the LSU people.
But if I'm an Ole Miss fan, it's kind of a great thing that he's got going there. It's kind of like I don't know. He's got a great perspective on it because he runs both websites.
Yeah.
H-Town Creole has Lane talked to the players on the team. Y'all are putting too much in the portal. Haven't learned anything. Oh, no. The portal is necessary because of the need to build the roster back.
Yeah.
But he's going to absolutely need to do what Brian Kelly always wanted to do, was build the roster and maintain it off highly rated, highly coveted high school signees. What is the happy medium there? If you can have it that way, you're just, you're forever going to run into the case where guys are going to want to leave if they don't get playing time, and they're not, and they're impatient.
It's a good question to ask Coach Kiffin. In this day and age, with the portal and with high school recruiting, what balance do you want? And I think 10 of the 14 that signed early are going to be early enrollees. And so, but I'm sure Coach Kiffin has said, look, we're going to make sure we get every stud in Louisiana.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. You would love to see every senior day that, what number would be a good number? A third?
Yeah.
A third of those guys?
But they don't stay the whole time anymore.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But look, that's no different. I mean, when you sign a full class of 25, as long as I've been doing this, yeah, you needed half of those guys to be gone for you to continue to sign a full class of 25 every year.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was half 10, 15, 20 years ago, what is the number now? 30% ideally?
We'll
you could hold, I don't know. Yeah, good question here. Apathy. When is the next time the media gets to talk to Kiffin? I'm assuming it's going to be when the portal class is in the barn. I think we'll probably get him then
So January 16th, I think, is the last
somewhere
day.
in there, mid-January.
Okay, so we're talking about a month away. We'll see.
Yep. Dane Bergeron says, everybody have a happy and safe holiday season. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
You too, Snake.
Matthew Vincent with a super chat. Any update on Elijah Robinson? Also, who's going to be a special teams coordinator? That's two big questions. And I tend to think the Elijah Robinson thing, it sure looks like that ship sailed. And special teams coordinator, don't have a name for you right now.
I was watching this and made some calls about Elijah Robinson. We thought he was going to be at LSU. Nebraska thought they had him. For some reason, he's getting cold feet. He's also looking at Penn State.
I'm hearing people who are pursuing him have gotten cold feet.
Yeah, so I don't know what's coming up there, but we shall see. I know that there's going to be a lot of work with, once again, speaking of giving shout-outs for high school championship. I know you got a relationship with the Carr head coach. 15 Division I signees and Richard Henderson, Aiden Hall.
Bryce Brown's a Hall of Famer.
Isn't he? 27 in a row they won. So Coach Brown, hell of a job. Once again, they've got some guys that can play. They've got that swag. Can't wait to see big Richard Anderson. Now, here's the interesting thing. You know what number he wears in high school? 7. This is another question that Kiffin will get, and PFM and others are ready to wash their hands of 7 and 18. All right, there's some tradition in history. He's not going to get 7 the first year. Are you going to continue that tradition with 18 and 7? We'll see when Kiffin comes around and starts answering questions. But Richard Anderson's a big man that can move. Aiden Hall is a snot knocker. Lamar Brown, Trenton Henderson, all those 4 guys, those D linemen that they got, and let's not forget about Deuce Jells. Going to be a lot of fun. That D-line coach is going to come in. He's going to have a combination of experience and new blood coming in there. Interesting to see. And does Blake Baker have input on who this D-line coach will be?
Yep. All right, everybody. When you're looking for your next vehicle, make sure to support a local dealership that supports the Tigers. Matt Bowers Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on Airline Highway near Behringer Foreman in Baton Rouge has a great NIL deal with LSU tight end Trey Green. You cannot beat the quality service they provide, and they give their lifetime powertrain warranty on all new vehicles. Shop them online today at mattbowerscdjr.com. And here we go.
What's up, Tiger Nation? It's Trey Green. Go see my friend Matt Bowers when you need your next ride.
Get Matt's lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new vehicle purchase.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers, CDJR, Baton Rouge.
There you go. And Bay's Oyster Bar, everybody. This is your new top oyster spot in Baton Rouge. Bay's Oyster Bar on North Boulevard. Be sure to get over there. They've got absolutely fantastic oysters. I'm looking at the menu right here in front of me. I'm telling you, barbecue Nola style, brie and bacon, classic char grilled, corn mock shoe. The corn mock shoe, I've had those. They're incredible. Baked oysters with a mixture of corn, bell peppers, and fresh herbs, and with a bechamel sauce. Oysters Bienville and oysters Rockefeller. And they got a great turkey brie and bacon sandwich, a great roast beef po' boy. They've got it all for you. Again, 315 North Boulevard, Bay's Oyster Bar. And trust me, you're going to love the food there. And there you go. Let's see what we got here. Make sure. Scott Tigers, Jakeem Stewart from NOLA just signed for another year at USC. Is that what we do every year? You sign, you re-sign?
Well, look, I mean, there's been transition. You know, you get a new deal. Everybody, look, the same thing with the coaches. Everybody gets a new deal.
How did he get away? How did he get away?
Oh, here we go. You stirred this pot now for him.
Who had New Orleans?
Well, I will say this in Frank's defense. I will say this in his defense. LSU was not spending the kind of money on NIL at that time. But I did some research. He had a pretty good year. But, look, it takes a while to develop into a guy that, you know, very few D linemen come in and all of a sudden start throwing people around like an empty Coke can. But you can't get them all. And we know that that's not going to be a problem. LSU is not going to struggle with recruiting. What did this early signing group of 14, where did they come in nationally? 8, 9, 10?
Whatever they are.
Whatever.
In that range.
But and that's why they have to go heavy in the portal to get back up to 85. But I think he's going to concentrate a lot more on the state of Louisiana once he gets his roster stabilized.
Yeah. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Just as always, Amanda, folks, and folks over at Demco want to make sure that all of you have a great, safe, blessed Merry Christmas. And, of course, Amanda, the official smoked sausage of LSU Athletics, and Demco. I say it every week over on this show, but so nice not to have to go to the Demco Storm Watch. God, thank you for all of that you bestowed on us. It was a rough up and down year for football, but we didn't have to fool with floods, hurricanes, tropical storms.
And by the way, absolutely check on those Christmas trees. If you've got a live one in your house, do everything they tell you to do. Check those needles. If you got an older house and you're running your gas fireplace and logs, make sure you've got all that taken care of. A friend of ours had their house burned to the ground a couple of days ago, and total loss. So make sure you've got all the precautions. Nothing worse than that kind of stuff to happen this holiday season.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
And, once again, all you kids, you got to be good. One more week. Of course, we won't be over here next week because it is
no
Christmas
show next
season.
week.
But we'll be back. And as always, don't forget CFP this weekend. Basketball Friday night with McMahon and his team, Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers looking good. And I know you're just chomping at the bit to see what Jay Johnson. He's going to be having some press conference real soon. They're going to be back playing in less than 2 months. Going to be an incredible year for Jay Johnson and this team. I mean, that's almost the best lock and bet in the business. LSU back in Omaha, if he stays healthy, they are loaded. Once again, the guy never sleeps. And this is interesting. Kim Mulkey's won natties. Jay Johnson's won natties. Lane Kiffin, did he come here and will he win a national championship? In time, that question will be
Give him
answered.
time. He's young.
But in time, that
But
question will be answered.
what is the time frame? How long does a coach have at a school like LSU now? 3
years. That's what the guys have won it. Saban won it in year 3. Les won it in year 3. O won it in year 3. I think LSU makes the playoffs next year if everything goes smooth in the transition.
Ooh,
but
playoffs
next year.
Man.
Hey, listen, that's the great thing about talking about it. We have no idea what they're going to look like. But if you bring in Trinidad Chambliss, Lacey, all the wide receivers, all you got to do is fix is the offensive line. And I feel like they will definitely.
I like LSU's what they've got. You asked me how many they I think they need to get 3 in the portal. Braylon Moore, make sure he's 100% back. And I can't wait to see what that. I'm not throwing away all those offensive linemen. There's some very good offensive linemen on that roster that he's inheriting. I can't wait to see what they can do with a different offensive line coach in that offense.
And you got to take care of business at the beginning of the schedule. 4 of the first 5 games are at home. You've got to win those games. And if you do that, and then you split the last 4, yet 10-2. But we'll see. It's a long way to go. Going to be fun. Appreciate everybody being on the ride with Mike and myself. And as always, enjoy your Christmas holidays, folks.
Hit the like button. Please subscribe if you hadn't hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. And please go over to TigerBait and subscribe. $1. We'd like to have you as a part of our TigerBait community. And by the way, we've got digital gift cards linked on the front page. You can give a premium subscription to TigerBait as a Christmas gift, stocking stuffer. It's a great gift to give a TigerBait premium subscription for an entire year. That's linked right on the front page of TigerBait. So,
hey, one other thing to add. 2 weeks from tonight is New Year's Eve. So we may do a show that week on Tuesday. We'll tweak the schedule.
I'm probably going to jump in with Preston and Zach Monday.
Yeah.
I say no show. Maybe I'll do something. Maybe I'll hop in and just do something from my computer on Tuesday. But as of now, I'm saying no show, no TigerBait Live next week. And then the next show after that would be the post game for the Texas Bowl.
There you go.
All right, everybody. Good night.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.